This presentation is about me, Edith Cavell, and my journey through life of becoming a nurse and helping fugitive soldiers in a time of war.
So can you tell me a little bit about Edith and what she was like growing up and throughout her adolescence?
She was very kind and compassionate. She cared for her father when he got sick and until he got better, and that's what made her become a nurse. When she was younger, she liked ice skating and painting. She learned French, and she liked to teach that to others. She was very religious. She loved God.
About what made you want to be a nurse?
Well, my father was sick at one point and I was taking care of him. He always told me that I was doing a really great job and that he was very grateful, and so I just decided this is what I really wanted to do.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about your experiences in the war?
Well, I was at home visiting my family when I heard about the war, so I decided I needed to go back right away. When I got back, the Germans took over immediately, and they sent most of the nurses home, but I decided to stay back. And this is when 2 soldiers were sent to me to be kept safe, and that's basically when my whole underground operation began. And I must have housed over 200 soldiers after that.
Okay, so what is it that made the Germans actually question you?
Well, word got around that I was helping out with this, keeping soldiers safe, and they brought me in for questioning, but they didn't find any evidence, but they still kept me there for 9 weeks. 9 weeks!
I see. So how is it that they found out that you were the brains of this operation?
Well, actually, they tricked me into confessing by telling me that they already knew that I was of the whole brains of this operation, and that they were going to find out eventually. But I was proud of what I did. I just knew that it was only a matter of time before I was convicted.
Colonel Boger, can you tell me how you came about knowing Miss Cavell?
Well, I was smuggled to Miss Cavell by Belgian patriots. I was injured in a battle and couldn't return to my unit. So they were sheltering me and gave me fake passports and whatnot. And they led me to her for medical assistance and hiding. And I stayed there for 2 weeks before I continued on my route, trying to return back home.
Okay, can you describe her for me?
She was very serious, very business-like woman with gray eyes and gray hair, very religious and very patriotic. She loved her country very much.
Okay, and was your actual escape successful?
Unfortunately, no. I decided to stop by at a cafe and get some drinks, and I didn't speak that well of French, and the German authorities asked for my papers, and so I was returned to a prisoner of war camp. But I returned home after the war. Unfortunately, I didn't make it that time.
Seems like luck was not on your side.
No, it was not.
Sergeant, can you tell me what you think about the war?
Well, I believe this war was unjust and unfair, like every other war has been. And there's nothing we could do about it. So as a soldier, I had to go and fight for my country and do the duty that I had to do at the time.
Okay, now how did you actually meet Miss Cavell?
Well, the way I met Miss Cavell was I ran away. I did not want to fight for that war, and I was really sick, hungry, malnourished, tired. I was hurt, and I was introduced to her, and she took me under her care, and she helped me get better. Provided the care that no one would have done out there in the battlefield. So I was very lucky to encounter her, and that's how I got to meet her.
And what would be your opinion of Miss Cavell, or what do you think about her and what she did for the soldiers?
Well, there's not a day in my life in which I don't think back about the time of the war. And as a soldier, my duty was to fight, but as what was her duty, and she didn't have to risk her life for anything, but she did. She risked her life for people like me and other soldiers, putting her life in danger, and that's more than any other soldier could do on the battlefield. In fact, her duty was to help and care for us. Where I have a gun on my arm, she had medicine to heal us. So that's what I think. I think that if there were more people like her, there wouldn't have been a war in the first place. But things are just sometimes are out of our control, and there's nothing we can do about it.
So you definitely feel like you are, in a sense, blessed or lucky to have met her because of her actions to help you and others?
I think that me, as well as hundreds of other soldiers, owe our life to her. If it wasn't for her, we probably would have died out there. But thanks to her, I'm here, being interviewed by you.
Thank you very much. How did you know her? What was your relationship like with Edith?
Well, we grew up together, and when she went away, she would send me letters, and she was a prisoner. She was very brave. She wasn't scared to be a prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
And she would just write to me about her experience.
And can you explain to me a little bit about the possible, did she tell you anything, like any secrets? Did she let you in on anything that she was actually doing?
Yeah, she kept a lot of secrets. She kept a diary that she hid in a cushion, and her secrets got out when she would send postcards to other people other than me.
Do you know what the postcards actually talked about, or what was it that let her secret out of what she was doing?
I think the postcards were about her and the other prisoners.
Okay.
And her time being kept away.
All right. Sister White, how did you know Edith Cavell?
I was assistant matron at the Burkendale Medical Institute where we taught the nurses.
Okay. And how did you two collaborate with her organization that she was doing?
Well, at first I didn't know what was going on. It was kind of held secret with like the top people. And then Edith came to me and told me to house these two soldiers. So they looked really tired and dirty, and she told me to take them back and told me that they were the future soldiers. And that's when I found out about the operation.
Okay, and were you ever scared at any point in time that you would be arrested?
At first, Edith had a good control over it. One time she knew exactly when the German soldiers were going to come and search. So she had me move all the soldiers to a house in the back. But then after we did that, the Germans became more suspicious and I got scared, so I left the country.
I see.